Here we go. We're live.
We're here. We're back.
Hi, y'all. Hello,
hello.
hello. The second time this week. So today we are going to talk about all things housing. It's what is required to to even apply for a visa. And I remember back in July when we were stuck in Mexico. Well, not stuck. We were blessed to be in Mexico, but
Very blessed.
but planning our visa application process and for our interview, and the apartment that we thought we had in the bag just was not happening. You know, we really thought we were going to get that apartment. But the unfortunate part about it is the landlord was moving at a snail's pace. And here's the thing, guys. When you apply for your visa, everything has to be in place. You have to have the proper type of lease. The apartment needs to be registered and all of that. And if it's not registered with their version of the IRS, then the consulate's not going to accept it, or the embassy is not going to accept it.
No, they won't.
So then a friend of ours called.
Yes.
His name is Rossini.
Rossini. Y'all have heard us mention his names many, many, many times.
Yes, and so we met him and his fiance through a mutual friend, and he's like, "Let me help you guys." And thankfully, we said yes, because at this point, it was 1 week before our interview, and some of you guys have. Well, a week and 2 days, right? Some of you guys have heard this story before, but there's some new folks on. And so we want to make sure that we catch you up to speed so we can tell you, why it is so important to have help on the ground, and the right kind of help. So we had basically 1 week to get literally 1 week to get a signed document in our hands and a place that we could live in for at least 4 months, because you have to fulfill at least a third of the contract. And for California, you need a year's contract.
Yes.
So that was on a Wednesday. He started looking on Thursday. On Friday, we had a template contract from our future landlord in hand. Now, of course, we can't promise you that everybody's going to get that kind of luck, because it just so happened that this, the right apartment came on the market at the right time. But, I think that things work out how they're supposed to.
I agree.
The universe tends to unfold as it should. And so Rossini was with us. We had a Zoom call with the landlord on Saturday. We did some rewrites, some updates. I showed it to our immigration attorney. They looked over it, made sure everything was kosher. Mm-hmm. And on Monday, it was registered with the Financia office with our names attached to it. And we had an email verification from the Financia office with our NIF numbers, or NIF numbers. And we were ready to go. But oh my gosh, the gray hair.
What gray hair?
The gray hair I got because I was so worried. I did not want to show up in San Francisco without every single thing being in order. So thankfully, and thanks to Rossini, we got it done. He had a strategy on how to do it more quickly than if you have more time, and his strategy worked. And so we are going to bring him on.
Hope you got questions for him.
Yes, I think we should introduce ourselves. So for those of you who are new to our channel,
don't know who we are.
Hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, travel, and retiring abroad as we build generational wealth. So for those of you who do not know, really quickly, if you're new to our channel, about 6.5 years ago, Rick and I got a wake-up call. We were getting close to retirement age. Our money looked funny. We didn't have any, well, we had a little bit in our savings, a little bit.
Y'all know how it could be.
We were living life, and we were not prepared for retirement, but we got our financial act together. And within 3 years, we went from negative 22,000 to over 1 million in net worth. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe and share our content with your friends. I think we reached 5,000 subscribers today. So thank you.
We did. We reached 5,000.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Without further ado, we are going to bring up Rossini. We've got some questions for the folks who are on our email list. We gave them an opportunity to ask questions. So we're going to start off with those, and then we will ask questions from the folks in the live audience. If you're not on our email list, how come? How come?
Hey, Rossini.
Hey there.
Hello,
You need to be
everybody.
right. They need to be on our email list, right?
Of course, please join the email list.
So the
Thank
first
you for
question.
having me.
Oh,
you're so
absolutely,
welcome. It's
absolutely.
a pleasure to have you.
So the first question that we got is from Ronnie, and she wants to know the average price of a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment in Cascais.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to start off with that.
Price.
We're going to start off with that one. Now,
Yeah.
to us, Cascais was more expensive. We have heard from some people who have been living there for a while that you can find some deals, but maybe you have to be in the know and in their little circle.
Yes, Cascais is an area that everything is a little bit more fancy, let's put it like that. So the quality of the constructions, the quality of living there, it's a little bit higher. And the prices are a little bit higher than Lisbon for sure. But it all depends on the opportunities that we can find. For a T2 and a T3, probably will be, they asked a T2 or T1, sorry.
T1.
A T1 and a T2. Probably T1 will be fluctuating around 1,200 to 15, 1,700. A top one will be 1,700. And this is the reasonable prices, okay? Because we have T1 for 3,000 per month. Yes, they do. And a T2 probably will be in around 1,500 to 2,200. These are reasonable prices. It all depends on the sizes, the location, you know, if you are close to the beach, if you are a little bit far from the beach, this all matters, you know.
Right.
But I think the reasonable price for a T1 in Cascais will be 1,300, and for a T2, I'll say 1,700.
Okay. So, and let's compare that right now just to get it out of the way. So 1,300 and 1,700 is a reasonable price in Cascais for T1 and T2.
Yes.
Now, what about for Lisbon for a T1 or T2?
The reasonable price will be for a T1 will be around 1,000, and for a T2, 1,400.
And how
T2 and a good T1.
Okay. And how easy are they to find around that price
T1
point?
is harder. T1 are more harder because they are intended for people that are students, single people. So these ones go out of the market really quick, you know.
Okay.
When it matters, when it's about families, so you have less. The pace is a little bit less to get the place, so you have more opportunities and you have more unities as well. So T2, T3 is easier to find for sure.
Interesting.
Yes.
And I think it's the opposite in the States. What do you think? Maybe a 2-bedroom, but 3 bedrooms are hard to find.
3 bedrooms.
Yeah.
In the United States.
Yeah, here the T3 is a really average apartment, you know. They move T2 back in the day used to be for single people, for young couple, you know, 2 people. So they have a bedroom and an office, a bedroom and a bedroom for the kid, something
Right.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
When the family grows, they have a T3 and then they move to T4, T6, T whatever.
Right. So it's more like a starter.
Interesting.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't know, here in Portugal and other countries as well, but they don't say 1 bedroom. They say T1 for a 1 bedroom, T2 for a 2 bedroom, T3 for a 3 bedroom. So that's when you're doing your search, that's what you should look for, and that's what you should put it in. And we actually suggest, if you do your own search, that you do it in Portuguese. Don't do it in
Yes,
English. Do it in Portuguese, and do it with the Portugal VPN on. That
exactly.
will that will be better. Okay, so we got the prices. So we've got more questions. How many months in advance before my plan to move should I reach out to Rossini to look for a place?
Oh, that's a good one. You can reach out at any time, of course. The conversation can start even years before you move. There's no problem with that. The important thing to understand is it's hard to find a deal that you can close the deal, sign the contract today to move from a month or 2 months after. They don't, the landlords, I don't like to say landlords, I'm sorry, the owners, they don't want to have the apartment empty. The apartment empty is they're not getting money.
Right.
So
Well,
when
they
they
don't mind if it's empty, just
Yeah,
as long
as
as you're
long as you're
paying.
paying.
exactly they want somebody paying for that. So yes, and I think
You,
the reasonable time will be around 6 to 8 weeks before
yeah,
you plan to have your interview with VSF.
VFS. Yes, and that's different than when you're moving.
Yes,
So
exactly.
come closer, you're out of the shot. So you said, or whoever asked this question, I can't remember who. How many months in advance before my plan to move? It should be before your plan to apply,
Exactly.
right? And so 1 week before our before our meeting was not enough time for
No.
sane people. We were
It was
very,
luck.
very fortunate. We were very, very fortunate to find what we found in that short amount of time, and have an owner who was really motivated, really wanted us, and got that contract quickly. Um, and you don't want to do that.
Yes, it
So
No.
I'm
happened.
so what do you think? Like 2 months before is a reasonable amount of time?
Yes, 6 weeks to 8 weeks. 2 months, 1 month and a half to 2 months will be the best.
Okay.
But it happened before to do like in 6 days, like you guys, and happened now just happened 1 week and a half. You know, yeah,
Sometimes,
yeah.
but you don't
Sometimes
know.
it's fast, sometimes it's not.
Right.
It happened 1.5 month as well.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
exactly. So the next question is, what most landlords require first and last month rent. Okay, so instead of posing it that way, what are you seeing as far as the financial requirements? How much money in general are you seeing them ask for?
the money will vary on the price of the rent.
Right,
Okay,
but like if
but
we do it by how many months worth of rent or something like that.
yeah, separating in months of rent, they passed a law to start the beginning of the year that if you have a guarantor, they can't ask anymore for more than 2 months. But one thing is the law, the other thing is what is done on the streets. That's the truth. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the reality. I don't agree with that. I know that anybody that is planning to rent don't agree with that, but that's what's going on. But most often, it's been 2 months upfront of rent and two
Hmm.
months of deposit that will return to you at the end of the contract. We try to negotiate for three or even one and one, one rent, one deposit, you know. But these months up front, they mostly are not used at the first and the last. They are used at the first 2 months, and you pay the third one after the first month. So you give 2 months, the third one you pay next month, but it's related to the third month of your contract. They want to hold 2 months in their
Yeah.
hand as a safety.
So
Most
what we negotiated, folks, is that 2 months rent that we pay to them. Those are going to be the last 2 months of the contract. Whenever we give notice, so we give 60 days notice. They have 60 days worth of rent. We stop paying rent because they already have it. And then we also had to give them the current month's rent. So 2 months rent for the last 2 months of the contract, and then 1 month for the current month that we're moving in. That's what we
Yeah.
had to do, plus a deposit.
Plus a deposit. And the prices have been changing a lot.
We will talk about that. Utilities. So our utilities are not included in the rent. Are utilities ever included in the rent? Do you ever see that?
Yes,
Okay.
sometimes it happen. Sometimes
Okay.
it happen. Some owners ask to not change the name on the contract. They present the bill and you pay together with your rent, but it change varying on the consumption, of course.
Right.
But it happened to find places with utilities included. It's mostly done in the T1s unities because they are small. Sometimes they have more than one T1 in the same area, so they pay for overall and they include all together on the rent.
So they probably have 1 meter. That's probably why.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And the reason why owners don't want to change the utilities out of their name is because the utilities companies charge them money every time it changes. So if you have somebody in there every year, then every year you're paying an extra €100 or whatever to change it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So we get our utilities are in our owner's name. I'm going to see if I can get Vodafone changed though, because I want the package deal with our cell phones. But the water and the electric gas, whatever, those are in his name. I see the actual factura or the invoice, the bill, and then I just transfer the money to him for what we have used, which I like my place toasty.
Nice and cozy.
Yeah, yes. Are there deposits required? Okay, we just answered that. As in the States, sometimes equal deposit is required. Oh, deposit for utilities. Well, if the landlord is keeping the utilities in their name, then no, there's no deposit necessary. If they are requiring you to get the utilities in your name, you may have to pay that transfer fee.
Right.
Is there any other deposits at the utility companies? Because in the States, they look at your credit report. And if you have good credit, no deposit is necessary. If you have no credit or bad credit, then they ask for a deposit.
Wow. Well, here does not happen. They charge you a fee to change the owner name, the responsible name, but they don't charge any deposit or something like that. And if the landlord asks for a deposit for utility, they are doing wrong.
Ah, okay. That's good to know. Is a credit check required for renting an apartment? Have they checked anybody's credit?
No.
Do they even have access to?
I think they would have to ask you to pull the report,
Yeah.
the report from the United States anyway, and show it to them. Have they been asking for financial records?
No, they've been asking, of course, for pay slips, a proof of income, because they would like to know. But it's the same thing since I moved to Portugal. They asked this from me as well. They want to get to know if you can afford to pay the rent monthly basis and fulfill the contract,
Right.
which is understandable. Some people don't have the pay slips because they are self-employed, retired, or something like that. In this case, they ask for bank statements. You prove that you have this sum of money in the bank during the last 3 months, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah, we sent almost as much that we gave to the consulate. We sent it to our landlord, and we just blacked out the account numbers, and all of that, and then sent him the information. So, credit check to emphasize the NIF and the NIF and Portuguese bank account must be established before seeking and obtaining an apartment.
Yes.
Oh, really? So definitely before you apply for your visa, but owners are asking for Portuguese bank account? And I know you need your NIF number because that has to be registered with the Financia office.
Yes, you need to have your NIF for the contract, of course, because the NIF is like your financial number. Everything that you do in Portugal related to finances, like buying a candy or buying a house, you're going to use your NIF. You decide if you want to use or not, but most of the time with big things like a rental contract,
It's
uh, it's needed.
required.
Of course,
Yeah.
it's required because the amount of money is high. But bank account, they don't ask for. I do recommend to have either you use the Wise, because the Wise app is a good option to transfer money from US to Portugal, or you have your bank account here in Portugal, which is make it really faster the transfer and eliminate that little friction at the beginning of the negotiation and contract signing, where both parts are a little bit skeptical of what's going on. So you eliminate this friction when you sign the contract by having a fast bank
Yeah.
transfer to the landlord, to the owner.
So here in Portugal, unlike the United States, I have Rossini's bank number. He's got mine.
Yes.
I have our owner's bank account number. He has ours, and that's just the way it is. But the banks have a lot more security than the average bank in the United States. And so I don't suggest that you use TransferWise because it's very, very expensive. It's not expensive if you're only paying $150 or something like that, or euro or whatever. But if you've got to put down for 2 months, 6 months altogether, and you're talking about $8,000, you may be paying $800 to transfer $8,000 through TransferWise. If you wire it from your American bank to your Portuguese bank, then hopefully your bank is not charging you any more than $25, $30 on the United States side. And then whatever the Portuguese bank charges, which, ours was like 10 euro or something like that. So that's a lot better. And that's no matter how much money we transfer. We could transfer 9,000 or we could transfer 4,000. It's still just going to be that one fee. It doesn't go up with the amount that you transfer. So we suggest that. The other thing that once you are here, then to get away with paying no fees for transferring money is if you've got a bank account that refunds you the ATM fees and don't have foreign transaction fees, then you just take money out of the ATM and put it in your Portuguese bank. Once you figure out what buttons to push. It took me 4 months to figure out what buttons to push, but we figured it out.
Yeah.
We figured it out. Okay, so that was all of our questions that came in advance.
Okay.
All right,
That
let's
was
get
easy.
yeah, that was easy. Okay, so Jill Owens asked, what made you decide Porto was the right place? What made you decide Lisbon is the correct place?
The question for us?
Yeah.
Well, Porto is further north, and I read and investigated. It's colder than Lisbon in the winter, and it's more wet than Lisbon in the winter. So I decided I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be further south, and Lisbon was the choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, it's Lisbon for Black Americans is a softer landing. There's more of us here. That's more people to give you advice on doctors, dentists, people to do your hair, all of that stuff. There is a growing community in Porto. There's a growing community in Coimbra, a growing community on the Silver Coast. But the majority are still here in Lisbon. And we haven't even been to Porto. We haven't been anywhere. I can't believe it. We're still Rossini, we were walking the other day. We got lost coming back up from Rocio Square. We made the wrong turn. And then we ended up almost in Saldana or somewhere. And it's like, no, we're going the wrong direction. And we saw a whole part that's just on the other side of the main boulevard of the neighborhood. That's beautiful. We'd never seen it before.
Yes.
After 6 or 7 months of being here.
I wanted to say it was like a medical school or medical college up there. It was up.
It looked
on
like
the
an
hill.
embassy as well. I don't know. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Probably it's Capucho's medical school. Oh, I know where you are. You are in Capucho's medical school. It's the area. They have a park. They have some nice streets with trees, and you have the big. Looks like a medical school, but it's a big hospital. And you have you have the university as well close by. Yeah, I know the area that you are. You turn left instead of turn right.
Exactly. Exactly. And we should have come up La Palma, which turns into Amarant, but we took this other scenic route with some cool restaurants and theaters and all of this stuff that we also had never seen. Yeah. So we had, we're still learning Lisbon.
Get lost. I feel like the streets and the houses are pretty similar here. So sometimes you get into a street thinking that you're going the right way, but you're going in another way.
Yeah.
It's easy.
This question is for you, Rossini.
Okay. Oh, if I accept meetings in person over coffee, we will be in Lisbon soon. Please come. I love coffee.
the little bitty European coffees, not the big ones like Rick drinks. Oh, 24-inch snowstorm. Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
We need to check on Greta because I know they were supposed to get in a whole lot of snow in upper state New York.
Hit Eastern US. I've been thinking of Greta. See? That's wild. Okay, Boitard. Hey, y'all. Auntie Trey, Vicky from New Jersey. I think you guys are just talking. I seen it, so you guys know to put a Q. Tanya, you caught us again. Good. Hey, Greta. Are you getting snow, Greta? What's going on? Don't tell me you guys don't have any more questions. Oh, here we go. Hello, I'm a gay man. Hello, 68, 69 in August. You're 68 years old now, 69 in August. Would I be accepted in Portugal and it's too late for me to relocate? Or is it too late for me to relocate to Portugal?
Yes, you will be accepted in Portugal.
Yes. So you need to see the episode that we did week before last with Penny and June. It's called From Tragedy to Tranquility in Portugal. And two of our friends, same-sex couple who are married, and they know better than we know what the reception is for someone who identifies as LGBT. So they're like, it's all good. And, as Black female and LGBT, so yes. Yeah. We also did, we also did a video called, Is It Too Late? Am I Too Old to Move Abroad? So check that out as well. And the short answer, no, it's not too late. Because you're just a little bit older than Rick was when we moved here. So
you're not that older than me. So
yeah,
but there's a big gay community here. It is.
So yeah, thank you.
And they have a gay pride parade. It is off the
chain. Oh
Lisbon
my gosh!
is really LGBT gay friendly. That they say they used to say. Yeah. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but Lisbon is a great. We have friends that are gay, and it's a great place to live, and you have no problem here, no matter your age. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, when we were here during Pride last year, and that parade, they were coming down the hill as we were trying to go up. Oh. Why was I looking at this woman's boobs?
It was amazing.
On 5-foot stilts. So she's walking way up there in the air, and I'm looking at 40-year-old boobs. I don't want to see 40-year-old boobs. I don't want to see 50-year-old boobs. So, okay, what are you saying, BP? F28 high because college town. Okay, I'm not sure if this is for us, baby, and I don't understand the question. I'm looking for 1 bedroom in Lisbon. How long can I live there without being a permanent resident? Well, we're not permanent residents. So the way the visa process works is they don't really give out permanent residency under the regular, that was the golden visa. that's going away. You don't want to spend that kind of money anyway. So it's temporary residency, and when you get your first visa, it's for 2 years. If you choose to renew, then it's 3 years, and then you are eligible for permanent residency or citizenship. So that's how it works. So under a tourist visa, you can stay here for 3 months. Hopefully that helps. This is my baby. Hey, sis. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Please explain T1 and T2. We did that. So yes, T1 is a 1-bedroom. T2 is a 2-bedroom. So
Typology 1, typology 2, typology 3, and so
is,
forth.
is that what it stands for? Sounds like some Shakespearean English stuff to me, you ask me.
Not hard speaking.
So yes, we are talking in euros. The prices that we quoted are in euros. So yeah, y'all. So you need to think about that, and you need to plan for the fluctuation of the dollar to euro. If you're making US dollars, or your income or your social security or your pension, whatever is in US dollars or anything other than euro, then you have to plan for the fluctuation of currency. Now, when some of our friends moved here, for €1, it only equaled 82 cents in US dollars.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Ooh.
So they lost 12% of the value of their money every single month. Right now, we lose 6% to 7% of our money. So for €1 equals $1.06 the last time I checked, which was this morning. So every time it gets closer to parity, I transfer a bunch of money. That way I'm on the euro. Now, if it reverses back in the other direction and €1 equals if $1 equals €1.10, yeah, in our favor, oh well. But so far, that's only happened once since we've been looking at this in the past 4 years, right? Okay, so yes. Okay, thank you, Greta, for answering questions for us. Are the T1, T2, T3s vary in floor plans and sizes?
Yes, they do. There's T1s with 30 square meters, and you have T1 with 80 square meters.
I don't see how you do a T3 or a T2. Let me give you guys let's see, square meters to square feet. What do they use in Brazil?
We use metric.
Of course you do. Okay, so 1 square meter equals 10 square feet. So if you have 30 square meters, that's 322 square feet. That's a small apartment.
Yes, it's a really small one.
How big do you think ours is? Are you good with space?
Yours is it's more than 100 for sure. I think it's 120 something, because it's a long apartment, and different kinds of layout, as well. Yours have a different kind of layout, and the size will vary on it as well. Some apartments, they are pretty boxy, square apartments, and they have 100 meters. And other apartments, they are like a rectangle, and they have the same amount of meters. So it depends on the layout. Today I visited a T3 that on the listing say that it have 90 square meters, and I'll tell you, you can have 8 people in that house, no problem.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
So folks, if you just add another 0 to that and a little bit, you'll get what it is in square feet. So for instance, 100 square meters equals 1,076 square feet. 100 square meters equals 1,076 square feet. So just add a 0 and a little bit. So the 90 square meters that you're talking about is like 900 or 910, something
Square
like that,
feet.
square feet. And I can see that because my mom's condo that she lives in is about 900 square feet, and it's a huge one bedroom
Yes.
with a separate dining room, separate living room, lots of storage. So, things are cut up differently here. If it has not been updated, if walls have not been knocked down, y'all, and you get an older apartment, it's going to be cut up. Just warning
Yeah.
you. Now, it does not bother me, not one iota. There was a time when I was like, oh, what do you mean the kitchen's on this side and the living room and dining room's over here? Now, does it bother you?
No.
I don't even think about it. I
Yeah.
don't even think about it. So,
So, and sorry. Uh, the interesting thing is that because you have a different layout, you live in a different way. So you spend less time in the kitchen sometimes because you don't want to be alone. You spend less time in front of the TV, watching TV by yourself or something like that.
Mhm.
It's good.
that
If you're
yeah,
going to change your life, change your habits as well.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
And the way that your apartment or your home is laid out does affect how you live.
Yes.
Yeah, very much so. So Tunisia, why Portugal VPN? Because you don't want American prices. You don't you don't want them quoting you dollars. You want to get the prices that Portuguese folks are paying. Right? Like we don't want to add to the misery by overpaying.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of pain going on right now.
Yeah.
As far as housing is concerned, there is a lack of housing. Um, they're working on it. They've put legislation in place. There's cranes everywhere, but Portugal keeps showing up as the number one place to retire, and so it just is what it is. Um, so yeah,
It's been on the top of the countries to visit and to have vacation and to retire, of course, for years in a row.
Yeah. So
yeah,
anytime you're looking for something outside of the United States to do, to travel, to fly, to do different things, use the VPN for that area. Don't use the United States VPN because the prices are higher.
yeah.
You're a rich American.
Yep, that's right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that, shoot, Americans, well, we spend a lot too. We spend a lot. And our minimum wage obviously is higher than the minimum wage here, even adjusted with the currency difference. But then everything else is so much. I mean, they're still paying $10 for a dozen eggs,
Wow. Wow.
right?
Wow. I'm concerned about the prices raising here in the supermarket, but I'm scared. $10
Yeah.
a dozen of eggs.
So I mean I've seen some prices go up here since now that we've been here for a while and remembering what we were paying. I still think though, Rossini, prices may still be cheaper on the other side of the river. See, we were doing most
Yes.
of our shopping over in Almada, Pingo
Yes.
Dos, and working class neighborhood. I bet you the price the prices are still probably cheaper over there
Yeah.
than they are over here. So, Rossini, how much notice do people give when moving out? Could they extend or leave you hanging?
Well, how much notice they give when moving out of the house? Well, by law, you have to notify the owner within 90 days before you move. So
Unless it's written in the contract. So, our contract says
exactly,
60 days.
exactly. Unless some contracts is 120, so it depends on the contract, but by law is 90.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our contract actually did say something like 120 days at first.
Yeah.
Something that I was like, no, we're not doing that. Like, I only have to
Right.
fulfill this much of the contract. So if I only have to fulfill this much of the contract, how is the notice going to be longer than that amount of time or the same amount of time or something crazy? So, I negotiated 60 days. He asked for 60 days worth of a pay, for not deposit, but for safety reasons. And so that's the notice. He loves us though. He knows he's got great tenants. So we can pretty much get whatever we want. If the website is in Portuguese, how can I translate it? So on most browsers, in the browser address bar, it
Mhm.
allows you to go back and forth from English to the whatever language the website's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in Chrome. Chrome works better at that than Safari. Safari will do it too, but sometimes it just doesn't show up. I don't know why. I don't know. So is the deposit the same amount of the rent?
Most often, some people, some landlord, well, some ask for different amounts, but most often it's like the same price of the rent. So if they ask for 1,300 for their rent, they will ask for 1,300 for each unit of deposit. So if you're paying two deposits, 2,600.
Yeah. So for us, it was 2 months worth of rent as the cleaning / security deposit, 2 months rent in advance for the last 2 months of the contract, and then the current month. So Greta is asking about a studio apartment or a T0. Have you noticed any pricing for T0s lately?
Hello, Greta, first, because I know that you are a part of this channel.
Yes. Oh, that's
Nice
right.
to
You
see
two were
you.
on together. That's right.
Yes, I know that she's part of the channel, and I really see her every time. It's really good to have a question from her. Yes, I'm working on T1 and T0 right now. I'm working with a client that is looking for this kind of apartment, and I have to tell you, it's hard to find something that is worth for, because it's if you're thinking about having a T0, you're going to pay almost 1,000 for a T0, which is a really small apartment. You find 75, 850, but the quality and location are not so good. So it will be around 900. In this case, I recommend jump to a T2 that costs 1,200, for example, and you're going to have a way bigger house, and probably in the better location instead of a T0.
So Penny and June they have what was probably described as a 1 bedroom.
Oh,
Mm.
I know what you're about to tell me.
But these women are 5'10", 5'11". They're not 5'4" and a
I met
half.
them.
Right, you did. And so, yes, that's right. And so the bedroom is a loft, and it's not a loft that they can stand in.
Oh my God.
They would have to crawl into it. So they're just using it as storage. So, but they're paying €800 in
Mhm.
Avalad.
Exactly. You can find cheap houses. The houses that people look and say, oh, this is a reasonable price. This not got these people talking about 1,200, 1,300. They're crazy, but that's not the reality. That's the pitfall that I try to avoid people to get into it.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to find. Wow, this week I found one for 3,500. Yes, a T0, 3,500. 20
Okay, so
square, 20
how
square meters. Ground floor. You open the door, you on the street. You have mold everywhere. You have space for one single bed. A
and
sink.
what were they smoking? What kind of drugs?
They have a room. They will make money out of it.
And where is it located? It's right there in the heart of everything.
Yes, it's in the area, but really sketchy area, which is Moradia,
On the east side up
close to
above.
Rossini.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No.
there's a little area over there that is kind of, you know, it's better to avoid, you know.
Well, I know that area on the other side of Martin Moniche is a little sketchy.
Exactly. It's right there.
Okay.
But it's like a room with space for one bed, a sink, no window, by the way, no window. Okay. Yes.
And they're asking what?
350.
Oh, $350. I thought you said
Maybe I said wrong.
3,000. You said 3,000.
No, maybe I'm sorry. I said it wrong. 350, but it's just a bed, it's just a place for a bed. You're going to find cheaper prices, but you need to be careful. When you find a cheaper price, look for the catch.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So BP, we kind of answered this. I don't remember the exact amount, but it wasn't so little that I was like, okay, no big deal. I'll just do that. It was enough for me to say, oh, never mind.
I think it's around 35 euros, if I'm not wrong.
I think it's more than that, because
More than that.
35 euro, I said, oh, well, let's just change it and I'll give you extra to change it back, because that way we can avoid confusion. Seems to me it was like 130 euro, more
Wow.
like that. Something where it's like, ooh, no, that's not worth it. Because whatever he said, it did not sound worth it. Now, he could have been mistaken. And maybe he said a big price because he just didn't want to bother. I don't know, but it was a lot. I was like, that's ridiculous. How much altogether do you need to have saved up before beginning your transition abroad? That depends. So I'm not going to tell you how much you need to have saved up. I'm going to tell you how much living expenses you need to have saved up. Do you have an opinion?
No, go on.
Okay. So I'm going to say at least a year's worth of living expenses. At least a year's worth of living expenses. Now, living expenses, if you're living in a 300 euro,
350.
350 euro box is going to be different than if you're living in a 3,000 euro palace, right, Tanya? So I would look at what your expenses are going to be. Now, this Sunday, we're going to be talking about money moves and the habits that we made to retire sooner than later. And we're also going to feature 5 exotic locations that you can live in for $1,500 or less. Not rent $1,500 or less. You can live there for $1,500 or less per month. Lisbon is not on the list, babies.
Yes.
Lisbon is not on the list, but there are places in Portugal that are on the list. So you got to tune in Sunday to see that. But yeah, have a year's saved. And, you know, if you're going to Mexico, there's some deals to be had in Mexico. I'd look at Querétaro, Queretaro, Querétaro. A friend of ours lives there. She lives in a palace that they are, and so much so that she's got a guest house that she has on Airbnb that stays booked with all these windows. It's beautiful for a tenth of what she was paying in the United States. So there are deals to be had. You just have to look.
They have a built-in business.
They have a built-in business that they did not have to pay to build. They just had to furnish it. So, all right, y'all. This is going longer than I wanted, so we're gonna close out here. Hi, Rossini. We're planning our exploratory visit for June 20th through the 28th. Come a little bit earlier so you can come to our meetup. And 1 week is not enough. I think we talked to you. It's greater later. We talked to you, didn't we? And all these people coming for a week. See, a week in the United States, that's a lot of time. Because, you know, them jobs don't want you to have even more than what they get mad if you have a 3-day weekend, Rossini, much less a whole week off at a time.
That's not how I work anymore.
Right? Can you offer any suggestions on an area where we can be centrally located between Cascais, Lisbon, and Porto? The Silver Coast?
Yes, Cascais and Lisbon, let's say that is the same region. If you're talking about Porto, you know, Cascais and Lisbon are really together. When we look at the map, Cascais seems a little bit further from Lisbon, but it's really easy to get there. So
30 minutes on the train.
Yeah, it's part of I consider part of Lisbon. It's not, but it's easy to access.
Yeah, it's part of the metro area. We can say it that way.
If you want to be in between Lisbon and Porto, I highly recommend to go to Peniche. Peniche is a small town close to the beach.
How do you spell that?
Penicha. Can I type on a chat?
I was trying to. You can type it because it's not working.
I can't. Sorry. Peniche. Penicha.
Oh, there we go.
Exactly, Rui Miguel. Peniche. It's a great city.
Penicha or E?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a great city. It's you have a beach around, of the city. It's amazing. It's beautiful. You have Bomba House surrounding, which is you got a great Buddha Zen park to go there, which is nice. You're close to Porto. You're close to Lisbon. You're close to Nazaré. You're close to Ericeira. All the Silver Coast is available for you, and I highly recommend driving in the way to Porto, because you're going to have really amazing scenarios on the way.
Yes, it's very beautiful. So
Portugal is amazing to travel by car. You have amazing views driving in Portugal.
we will get bold and rent a car in Cascais, not in Lisbon, because they don't know how to drive in Lisbon. Less people in Cascais, a little bit more chill. We'll take it from there and go up the coast. But I am not driving out of Lisbon. I don't trust these people. So, wow, that was loud. You got to put your do not disturb on. Okay. Hello, Ocean View. Sorry about that, y'all. From San Diego, thinking about moving to Portugal. Good. Marguerite says, hey,
Hi, Margaret.
Kenya. Rossini, do you have knowledge of properties in Madeira?
No, never been to Madeira. I'm sorry to say that I've never been to Madeira, but as soon as I have, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I've never been to Madeira either. Kenya, if you like the island life, you also know that there's a lot of inconveniences of living the island life. The airfares between I don't know why all of these people are now calling the airfares between Lisbon and Madeira are very inexpensive. So that part is good, but getting things delivered there and just finding things, it can be
the water.
It's in the middle of the water. It can be trying.
What did Alfreda say?
Tell him to look up Bears Abroad. I'm not sure who. Hey, Alfreda, we're not sure who you're talking.
It's to our friend, the let me get his name so I don't say Patty Peyton Feet. Yeah.
Peyton
Bears Abroad is a group, probably a group on Facebook for gay men that are traveling. They recommend to him.
Okay, very cool. Is €1,300 for a T2 near the water possible these days?
Yes.
And so Krishan was talking about Setúbal.
Yes.
Setúbal.
That's what they kept telling me to say Setúbal. Setúbal. That's what I was saying.
Yes.
Well, we'll say it 3 different ways. One of us have it right. Setúbal.
Yes, it's possible. You're going to find Portugal is a big country. I do my work basically inside Lisbon because most people want to move here, but I can't do in Madeira yet. I don't know her name. Sorry, I forget.
Is Kenya?
Kenya. I can't do in Madeira yet because I've never been there to tell you what's good. But I have traveled from the Algarve to Porto, so I know a little bit about the cities in between, and I highly recommend to work in the upper part instead of downward part. From Lisbon up instead of Lisbon down. Setúbal is a nice place, of course. You have Ericeira, you have Nazaré, you have Peniche, as I told you. You have many, even close to Algarve in the Zona do Alentejo. They call it Alentejo because it's after the Tagus River. Okay. And you can find for sure 1,300 for a T2 close to the water these days.
All
Even
right.
in Lisbon.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Huh. Hey, Jill. Rick and Halisi, do you accept meetings in person as well? Yeah, we do. What's the best way to get in touch? So the best way is to get on our email list. Then you will have our email address. That
That's
information is in the description below, but our email address is hello@ourblackutopia.com. Just let us know in advance. And if we're in town, we'll meet up for coffee. Rossini, what's the best way to get in touch with you as well? His information is in the description below. So I just want to tell you guys something on folks' YouTube channel. There are tabs that say videos, live, shorts, community, etc., and they should have an about tab. Most people have their email address and all of that under about. We do too. So if you forget to write it down, just look under the about tab. Week of March 27th. Oh, that's coming up.
yes.
So yeah, definitely reach out. Bring Rick some coffee, some French roast, Starbucks, and he will make sure that he spends lots of time answering all your questions. Are owners open to negotiate a written lease and put down a holding deposit, like 2 to 3 months rent, to hold a place until a person knows that their visa is approved, forfeited if no move in?
This is hard, and well, it happened already with me, this kind of situation, and the owner at the last moment, that's the problem, at the last moment before they signed the contract, she pulled it back.
She changed her mind.
Yeah, I'm not going to commit with a person that don't know that is committed enough. I completely understand the part that the person is it's fighting to get the documentation, and they're not sure if the documentation is going to be approved or not. But most of the time, the ones that I've been working with, all of them got approved within the time.
So Pinky, look, getting a visa for Portugal is not like getting a visa for the United States. You either qualify or you don't. You know if you qualify. So if you don't know if you qualify, then call Gail or some other immigration specialist and they can help you out. So for instance, like we said last week or on the Ask Us Anything, for the D7 visa, you need to have 1170 euros per month coming in some pension and some kind of income, or that amount 2 years worth or so in a savings account or an investment account or something like that. 500 euro for each dependent thereafter. So I'm Rick's dependent. Even if I were getting Social Security, somebody's got to be the lead on the application, and then the other person is the dependent. So you have your lead person, that's 1170 plus, just rounded up to 1200 euro, right? Plus 500 for each person after that. Okay. You either qualify or you don't. We were freaking out about that as well. And then I started to understand, as Gail started to explain to me, they're not trying to say no, they're trying to say yes. So just show them what they need to see so that they can say yes. A clean record,
FBI report,
clean record. You've got the money, you've got the lease, and it's the proper kind of lease. You've got your health insurance, you've got your bank account, you've got your NIF. Okay. You've got all that stuff. You qualify, check, check, check. They're going to tell you yes. That's just the way it is. They're not going through all of this to say no. They're not wasting their time, and we're only paying them $35 or something like that for the application fee. That's not enough money to go through all of this trouble not to get your dollars into their country. Okay, I know it's nerve-wracking. Been there, definitely. So. And that's another reason why we just moved here on the tourist visa, because we did not want, I see this one at 929. We did not want to have this apartment sitting there empty. And so we moved. Oh my God. Okay. I got to hurry up. So we moved on the tourist visa. Thank you, Jill, very much for the super sticker. And it looks like you did it twice. Thank you again. And then Say It Ain't So, Crystal. Thank you for the super sticker.
Shout out to my girl, Crystal. Yes. Yes. Nice to see you.
So thank you. Y'all know. Hey, Rui. You all know Ellen Teju is awesome, but not for everyone. So y'all know our super sticker, super thanks, super chat money goes to our scholarship fund. And Beyond the Bling Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence is available if you need help getting your money together. It is available, and we do have one more scholarship available at this point. So send us an email it's the 12th person and who says they need it on our Instagram.
15 person.
Did I say the 15th? Either way,
something.
we only have like 3 people, so folks don't need it, I guess. Okay, 929 is the question. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't realize we were this far behind. Okay, our owners open to negotiate. Okay, we just talked about that. Rossini, do you provide services in the Algarve?
Yes, I do, in the whole country. But
Madeira and the Azores.
no, but the whole country, but the islands.
Yeah. Does Lisbon have studio apartments? Yes.
Yes, they do.
Yes. And they have things that they call one bedrooms that are really studios. As a matter of fact, we were so desperate, I almost put an offer down on one. Remember that one where the bed was like in an alcove in the hallway?
Yes.
Oh gosh. and they wanted more money than this one.
Yes. It was a nice building, you know. It was a really fancy, modern, new building, but
I'd rather walk up a couple of flights of stairs.
You have to sleep in the hallway.
Exactly. So does a T2 come with 2 bathrooms? No.
Not so often.
It could, but the 2 it refers just to the bedrooms. It does not necessarily refer to the bathrooms. Okay. I think they asked this again.
Hey, Carla.
Hey, Carla. Good to see you in the chat. Auntie Trey, is this a question? You missed my question. I'm interested in an apartment in the outskirts. Girl, you need to put a big Q. I can't see that little question mark. You've been here long enough. Come on, baby. Okay, you missed my question. I'm interested in an apartment in the outskirts of Lisbon. Can you suggest any great neighborhoods near the beach? T2 preferably. Go for it, Rossini.
Yes, I do. I'm in love with Oeiras. Oeiras is a great neighborhood. It's beautiful in the day, in the night, in the weekends, every time. And it's not expensive as Cascais, and it's not crowded as Lisbon. And it's amazing. Oeiras is a great place. I do recommend just a visit, just to know Oeiras. Because
so where is it in relationship to Lisbon proper, to the city of Lisbon?
It's in between Lisbon and Cascais by the beach.
Okay, so
it's
like 5 stops past the bridge?
It's more because you have like Passo de Arcos, Carcavelos, you have plenty of them. But more or less it's in the middle of the way from Lisbon to Cascais.
Okay.
Oeiras, Estoril, Santo Amaro. You have plenty of neighborhoods, good ones.
Yeah, it's beautiful down there, y'all. Okay, Victor, I spoke with Rossini a month ago as he would agree and other support. The rental market is very tight. He charges $700 for a month service. He is flexible, time and service. So It starts at $700, y'all. It depends on what you want. Okay, my current studio apartment in Albany, New York is 420 square feet. So 40 square meters.
Wow.
But because the way it's laid out, it doesn't feel like a studio.
Yeah, depending the way that it's done. Sometimes you have a 2-level apartment. You know, you have a mezzanine with the bed area.
Yeah, but you need to be able to stand up there, not crawl.
Sometimes it don't happen.
Especially if you're 5'10", 5'11". Okay, so Krishan is Blacksit Global, y'all, is looking at Oeiras and Setúbal. See, I have to go like this, Setúbal.
I would stick with Oeiras for sure.
Okay. But see, you said you liked Setúbal, that you would love to live down there.
Yes, I do.
So the VPN that we use, there is a link below. We use NordVPN, and we have had no problems. No problems. It's affordable. It's a good price and all of that. Ariel, what are some of the neighborhoods just outside the city center or across the river in Almeida that are in good freguesias that is comparable to Saldañas, Sete Rios, Peña da França? Nothing compares to Peña da França.
She really went there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's
Yeah.
the perfect neighborhood. It's the perfect amount, close enough, yet far enough away. Nothing compares.
You're in the
But
city, outside of the city at the same time.
you right, like there is a magic barrier that the tourists cannot pass,
Yes.
and they stay over there, and then we walk past, and it's like, oh, you know, the angels are singing, the sun is out, the birds are chirping, and the kids are on the playground.
Yeah, the trams tease you. The trams fill up with the tourists and they start riding down towards your street. Next thing you know, they start going down.
Yep, they turn and go the other way.
It's like they're gone.
Yes. Yes.
I'm glad you like.
We love it. Thank you, Greta. It looks like Howard Worldview. I will put you up in a minute. Let's just answer this. So what neighborhoods do you suggest, either on that side of the river or this?
Well, we talk a lot about the neighborhoods of Oeiras and near in the direction of Cascais. Since he asked over the river, I would tell. I lived on the other side of the river, and there's a lot of good neighborhoods. There's a lot of traditional neighborhoods over there. Good to live, good to have a great life, close to the beach as well, and close to with all the amenities that you have in Lisbon. So going to the other side of the river is something to consider for sure. I highly recommend for people who are trying to avoid the tourists, but are planning to have a life with a car. So you have easy access to Lisbon. Because with the car, in 15, 20 minutes in a good day, you are from any place from, let's say, Corroios, which is a neighborhood on the other side of the river, to Lisbon within 15 to 20 minutes. So it's really good to think about the other side as a good option. And yes,
I
sure.
noticed, like in Costa de Caparica, first of all, those beaches are beautiful.
Mhm.
Yes.
But 946. But yeah, you definitely need a car. Because I mean, like there are buses. The metro will drop you off from the ferry. It'll drop you off like 10-minute walk to the beach. For instance, in Costa de Caparica from Casillas. And then the urban train goes across a bridge and through those areas over there as well.
Mhm.
But
And the prices are way lower.
yeah, yes. So been a while. Thank you, Rich Action Show.
Hey, Rich Action Show.
Thank you so much. And Greta, thank you again. Yay, you guys are so sweet. And thank you, Jill.
Thank you, Jill.
So much. So we've got another scholarship. We just got another scholarship, y'all. So we've got 2 more that are available if you need to get your finances together and you cannot afford to take the course. You cannot take the course unless there is a scholarship involved. Let us know. Get onto our Instagram and let us know. So you are very welcome. You are very welcome. I actually like Estoril. It's pretty. It's pretty. Okay, so that was Victor. He spoke to me a month ago. Okay, we answered that one. I keep saying we're going to go, and then I see more
Hey,
questions.
Rui.
Yeah.
Rui's name up there.
Yeah. Hey, tell everyone about the furniture I'm ordering and what you plan to do with it. This is Crystal.
Okay. Can I add to this one?
Yes.
Crystal said before here, and I would like to Crystal become a friend. She's a client that arriving to Lisbon soon next week, and she became a friend. That's why I got so glad to see her here. Of course, everybody it's a friend, but she's a special one. And she say that she's moving to in the message before she's moving to Lisbon, and I made the process smooth and even helping set up the furniture for her. And yes, that's why she's talking about the furniture. I'm helping her to set the house, because I think uh, it's not just about moving, not just about finding an apartment. I would like to everybody that come here to Lisbon to have a nice life, to land smoothly, to integrate with the city, and to with everybody that we live together. We're going to see each other in the supermarket, bump each other in the cafes. So I would like to everybody to have a great experience moving here and do what nobody did for me when I moved. So
Right. And you don't want to arrive and have to sleep on the floor.
exactly.
That's not fun. That's not fun. Does Rossini assist with finding short-term rentals, say for 1 month, for someone who's coming for a scouting trip?
Yes, I do, but you're probably going to have better luck with Airbnb, because it's easier to separate Airbnb or a hotel or something like that. It's hard to find 1 month rent.
It is. And so, but what you can do, Grethlin, is book a call with him to ask him where you should stay, where you should book your Airbnb, right? That's a good use of his time for that. Hey, Teddy, good to see you. Bring grits.
Samantha.
Look, y'all, I always want grits. I always want grits. Hi, Crystal, we're looking forward to seeing you, and hopefully you'll be here before our meetup. I think we found a place, y'all. We went to a Black-owned space yesterday. The vibe was on point. The food was on point. He was like, don't worry about it. I got you. So we expect a proposal from him tomorrow. I expect to be having tickets on sale as of tomorrow so we can cover these costs. We've got the African stuff set up for you guys. Now it looks like we've got the food, the drinks, the space, and all of that stuff, the cultural piece. We're excited.
It's gonna be fun.
It's going to be
It's gonna
fun,
be fun.
right?
Good food. All that food was
Right? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was hoping you'd finish what you were about to say. You moved on a tourist visa, and then what happened? Oh, Vicky, you don't know? You ain't know. So yeah, we moved here on a tourist visa. We did not get a yes on our residency visa until 30 days later. So then we had to send our passports to a trusted friend in the United States, who sent it to the consulate to get the visa, send it back to him. He sent it to us. And that's how we had to do that thing. Because I did not want to stay in America not one more day while we were paying rent here. Does Rossini help buyers or just renters?
Yes, I do help buyers. The process is similar, and in fact, the negotiation with the bank is it's even easier because it's pretty standard. But I do help to find the house and do the visit and check for the property if it's all right or not.
Okay, great. How much are Rossini's services to find an apartment? So it depends. There's a range, and you saw what Victor said. So there's a range depending upon what you want. His information is below, and you can book time with him on his calendar as we are on air. Is Oreias a safe Oeiras?
a safe neighborhood with
A safe neighborhood
sidewalks.
with flat sidewalks.
Yes. Oeiras it's flat at all, with a lot of parks.
Yes.
But it's not as nice as Peña de França.
That's her opinion.
No, it's beautiful because there's more water views. We have a water peak. We can peek at the water from the back porch. That's what we can do.
And it doesn't take but a minute to get to the water.
We can walk to the water quickly. San Martinho de Porto, is there much to do besides the beach? Do you know that area?
São Martinho de Porto, no. Probably it's close to Porto with that name. But
yeah, not
there are
familiar.
many places with big names. I don't know this one, unfortunately. Sorry. But we can look for it.
Thank you, Auntie Trey, for the 3 question marks. Love you, baby girl. Okay. For Rossini, eventually I'd love to buy a farmhouse. Do you
Have any
recommendations?
Yes, the Alentejo area is a good one. You have a lot of areas in Portugal there They are countryside and they're really good. If you go closer to Spain, for example, you're going to find a lot of lands to have a farm, to plant, to have a nice life, isolated from everybody. And if you have a small car, you can go to the city in 5 minutes and do
And
your contract.
even the interior or inland a little bit from the Silver Coast, maybe not a farmhouse, but a house with land. Like
Yes.
you guys know, our Rich Journey has a house with land up there, and they have like an orchard.
A lot of people think about Portugal and think about apartments, because it's the regular housing in Lisbon is apartments, but Portugal has a lot of tradition in people living in houses.
Yeah,
Most of the Portuguese people live in houses.
yeah, definitely. How to know where to start? I won't have a car. Want to live near metro and train? Yes, and certain places better for pets. Lisbon is a pet area.
Yeah.
A dog, lease dogs, and I know people have cats, and I know people who have moved here with their cats and dogs. So that's not an issue, Sabrina. And there, I would look, when you're talking to Rossini, places that are closest to parks. Like we have parks. The dog can walk, and then of course, usually the parks have a place to get beer and wine.
And there's usually a veterinary.
Yes, there's a veterinarian
right across
the way. We
from the
see them
park.
everywhere, from the park, right? So, so yeah. Do you have any and do you have any suggestions? Also, Sabrina, if you go into resources, we do have is it in resources? If not, I have to put it there. A map that overlays the freguesias with the metro. So I know that's on our Airbnb video. But do you have any suggestions?
Yes, I would recommend go close to Campo Pequeno, Alvalade. It's a good area that you don't need to have a car to have all the things that you need on it on a daily basis. You can have definitely walk around with your pets, and the point to start, I think, is when you realize that you don't want to live there anymore, or you are in love with the place that you're moving forward.
Yeah. Um,
Hi, Laura. I met Laura here.
yeah. Hey there. We met her too.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago. I don't know. It's all mushing together. All I know is we were out too late. That's what I know. We didn't get to bed till like 3 o'clock in the morning. I love Seychelles. Are there other neighborhoods over the river you recommend that are more affordable?
Yes. Corroios, Charneca da Caparica. I would avoid Trafaria area, but all Almada region would be nice to live, for sure.
Except for that area. And the Trafaria area is closest to the shore over on the other side of the bridge, just on the other side of the bridge.
It's the
That's the
corner.
area. Yeah, the corner. That's the area he's saying to avoid. So, yeah, Seychelles, beautiful Tunisia. And it's just a train ride down the way. As a matter of fact, you can get there basically with your Metro card. We did. As a matter of fact, that video that we did on the beaches of Lisbon or something like that, and we talked about Troia.
Mhm.
We were basically right around the corner from Seychelles.
Sharon,
I was in Lisbon in 2019, a long time ago, and stayed near a big bus station, and I forgot what that area was called. A big bus station. Do you happen to know what that is?
Was it where Caris, where the buses? Over there where you are.
It could be over there by
Orient.
the Caris station over there underneath the bridge near the LX factory.
Well, we went and got our cards.
Alcântara.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh, the Carris. Yes. But I think he's probably, if it's a big bus station, probably he's talking about Orient, that they have the bus, the traveling bus.
Yeah. Sharon, it's a she, Sharon. Yeah, it could be the Orient, which is in Parque das Nações.
Yeah.
Or it could be Alcântara. Alcântara. Underneath the bridge.
Could be
Yeah.
Sete Rios.
It could be, Yeah,
Sete Rios.
yeah. Um, Even isn't there a bus station at Santa Antonia?
Trains.
Santa
There's
Polonia.
trains. Apollonia, yes.
Apollonia.
Yes, but it's a small one. It's a really small
Okay.
one up there.
Are most apartments in Lisbon pet friendly?
No,
Ours is not.
most of them are not, but there's a lot of options for sure. Evora Porto Alegre regions, that's nice and have good medical care. Well, Evora and Porto Alegre are big cities in the countryside, so you're probably going to find good medical care in these cities instead of the surroundings.
Hmm.
So Rui says gas is not expensive here. It's expensive to me, Rui. It really is. How much less would an unfurnished T2 cost in comparison to a furnished T2? Oh, good question.
Good question. It depends. It depends on the unity. Prices always depends on the unities. Depends on the placing and the unity. But I would say that between 200 to 400, that would be a
Difference.
gap, yeah, of difference.
Yeah. So we were just fortunate what we got when we got it. I mean, we were talking before this started, and we signed this contract in July 2022.
Yes.
So that was almost 9 months ago, y'all. And it's furnished, it's fully furnished, 3-bedroom, T3. And the price that we got it just doesn't exist anymore for the most part, not in this kind of location.
Yes.
People here drive crazy, BP. They drive crazy. They cray cray. They're cray cray.
Oh,
They are so crazy that we will not even get scooters.
It's just scary because the streets are small.
The streets are narrow. There doesn't seem to be any speed limit.
There's speed limits. I've seen the speed
Oh,
limit.
you finally
sign.
seen a sign?
Yeah, they have the number with the red
Oh, okay.
thing. I've seen
No
the
one
speed
follows
limits,
them.
but I hadn't seen any on this street.
Okay, yeah, they drive crazy. Do you have any recommendations for an immigration attorney? I'm traveling to Portugal in July with the intent of researching a move. So we suggest Gail and her team. She has immigration attorneys that work for her. It's Relocate to Portugal, and the information is below. Okay, love you too, Latanya. She's going back to work. This is the last question. Morrow, Cleveland, you get the last question because we are an hour over, y'all. So the next time we have Rossini on, he's just going to give an update on the housing market and take a few questions. We ain't going to do this marathon. These
okay.
Thursdays are supposed to be short. They're supposed to be short. Okay. When we come in July, our Airbnb is across the street from a grocery store
Called
Continent Bom
Bom
Dia,
Dia.
Gomez Frere. Are you familiar with that area?
Yes, it's a good area for sure.
It seems
And
like there's a Gomez Frere over on the other side of the river, too.
let me check. Give me a second.
From a grocery store. So, and sometimes, like I walked around this neighborhood on Google Earth. When they took the pictures, it was still during the pandemic. And so it looked a lot different than it does now. And it did not give me a good sense of the neighborhood, but it did give me a good sense of these hills. So that's for
Gomez,
sure.
Gomez Freire is close to Avenida da Liberdade.
Oh,
It's one of the
that's
best zip codes
That's
in the
one of
country.
these kind of. This is one of these kind of neighborhoods. That's the Beverly Hills. Avenida Liberdad or Liberty Avenue is where all of the shishi shops are and all of that stuff. It's like Rodeo Drive, y'all.
Yeah.
So, all right, Rossini. Thank you, thank you
I have to
so
thank you
much.
guys.
Thank you, my
Well,
friend.
I'm really glad to be here. It's been a pleasure to have been doing this with all these really nice people surrounding me. It starts with you guys. You are amazing, of course. I have told you this before in person, and of course I have to tell here. Just a little thing I would like to say. I would
Yes.
like to thank everybody that have been passed on my life during these months. It's been a really good journey. I'm glad to do this work. I'm happy to do this work, you know, and I have met only good people, you know. I have people from Liverpool watching now. And it's something like crazy for me, you know. I have made friends, Bedros and Samantha, Michelle, Crystal, many of them, you know, have been through this journey, and this is only happened because of them. Thank you very much. And you.
Thank you.
You're-
You're making a big difference in a lot of people's lives.
Yes, yes,
Helping
yes,
them.
yes. So you're there in Porto. The driving is less crazy up there. God bless. That's great because these streets, everybody acts like they're in a hurry when they're driving, but then when you need service, namaste. Namaste. So that's Portugal, y'all. That is Portugal. We will be okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you have additional questions, Rossini's information is in the description below. If you have more questions for us, whether it is the visa process, moving to Portugal in general, how to do this money thing, you know that we have our course, Beyond the Bling Money Mindset Makeover for Financial Independence. That is below. You can book a call with Rick and myself. All of that information is below. This Sunday, we will be showing y'all 5 exotic locations that you can live in for $1,500 or less. All right. And then some habits that we developed that helped us retire sooner rather than later.
Hopefully it helps.
We'll probably do a celebration live on the 5,000 subscribers. So stay tuned. We're going to come back to you probably for about 15, 20 minutes over the next day or two. See ya.
See
Love
ya.
y'all. Bye-bye.